the bottom part of the pelvis here, and also the area where the legs can connect. And we know the legs are going to be a cylinder shape, right? So we want to have this sort of area that we can easily connect this seamlessly into the bottom here. So to do that, what we're going to do is bridge across from the front to the back. So let's go to Edge Tool. I'm going to select two edges at the front of the model. And let's come back to the back, and I'm going to select the two edges at the back. So we've got a couple of edges just at the front and just at the back. Okay, let's right click. And we're going to bring up the Stitch and Sew. Now, I want to not just connect these, but create new geometry between these. So I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm just going to click between these 2 points. And it's going to automatically create a geometry between. Now, I want to have a little bit more resolution in here. So maybe a few more lines. And so to do that, Knife is going to be our friend. And it's going to be a really useful tool that actually does a lot of different functions based on the mode that you have selected. I'm going to choose loop mode, and let's turn off restrict to selection. And so if I drag across one of these areas, I can choose where to put this. Okay, we can also hit Shift, and then I can put in an amount here under the offset, and it'll put it exactly 50%. I can do the same thing here, but I'm not going to be that careful. So I'll just add a couple in here. Let's count these up. So 1, 2, let me go back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this resolution of this border is going to determine the resolution of your leg if you want it to go in seamlessly. So depending on how high res you want your leg, you can modify this opening based on that. So let me select these edges, and I'm just going to start by kind of pulling those down a little bit. And so we want to create sort of a rounded opening here. And we can start to come to the side view to help us out. Just drag across those and sort of pull them over and out a little bit. Kind of the same thing here. And then these we can start to move up to create a little bit more of that sort of rounded connection. And we'll just kind of space these out a little bit. Not quite up to where we want to cut the pans, because we do want to have an edge right there on that cut. So I'll just kind of pull those up a bit. And that will give us a little bit more of an area to connect. Okay, right in here. You can, if you want that line to be sort of the belt, you could go ahead and, or the pants end, you could go ahead and bring that line up. And that will give you a little bit more room to work. And I'm overshooting a little bit because when we smooth it, it will lose a little bit of volume. And we can come in and just bring this up a little bit higher. So we get something like that. Okay. Now looking at this on the front, probably want to add another line in here. So I'll just do a loop right there, and then we can come in on the side and just modify that. Anytime we add extra points, we just want to come in and tweak the shape of it. Kind of pull that out a little bit. So that gives us a nice place to connect in our leg when we create it. Okay, now we're starting to work on this guy, and we really need to know that he's going to be symmetrical, right? So he's going to be the same on one side versus the other. So a lot of times I'll actually come in and get rid of one of these sides, and that'll allow us to focus on the other. I'm going to turn on tolerance selection, so if any polygon that this passes over will actually select. And so I can go in, delete that. So now we're only left with one side. And it just makes it a little bit easier to come in and modify. For instance, I could come here now on this side, go to points. And it's just a little bit easier to just work with one versus having to scale, a lot of things out. And so we can come in and modify it here. You'll see there's a lot of extra points there. It's all right. We can go to optimize, and let's just make sure unused points is on. Oh, make sure I don't have any of those points selected. There we go. And so now we can come in and start to tweak this shape with the knowledge that we are going to be mirroring it over. You could, add a symmetry right now, but I'm going to go ahead and wait on that. As far as the shoulder piece goes up here, I just want to use the knife and add a couple of lines right up where we want that shoulder to attach. So kind of right in the middle of it. And then we can decide, all right, I think probably right here up to this point here. And if I highlight those polygons, we're looking at these. All right, so I might clean up the shape a little bit, but let's come in the next lesson and actually start